Welcome all, I'm your host Jameson, and this is Quest 64. Quest 64 is an RPG for the Nintendo 64 that has a lot of flaws, but despite that has a lot of things that I really enjoy. So let's get right into it. Starting a new game, and the first thing you get before you can even move is a little bit of a plot dump. We are Brian, an apprentice magician of sorts, that our father disappeared to look for the Elatail book that was stolen. Now, the Elatail book are, as you can see, the words of the book is contained in the words of the book is a power that exceeds human knowledge. So obviously someone evil took it, and we are going to try to get it back and find our father in the process. So basically this guy says, the Grand Abbot here says, good luck, see you later. Now, as you may or may not know, this Quest 64 has almost none of the trappings of your normal RPG. There's not really leveling specifically, or equipment, or really much of anything in the game. Your leveling process is a series of different elements: air, earth, fire, water, and as you kill enemies, you will level up in a sense, and you can advance the elements. And as you advance the elements, you get more powerful spells, and you let's see, is this the right door? Yep. You get more powerful spells, and here's our first chest. Yeah, you get more powerful spells that you can use against your enemies. There's a lot of odd things about the game as well. I mentioned leveling up. You have 4 stats: HP, MP, defense, and agility. And each of those, let's see, is there even a door here? Nope, can't get through that one. And you advance those in a lot of different ways. HP by hitting enemies with your staff, and being hit by enemies in any way. That will make your HP go up. Also defeating the bosses. There we go. Here we go. This game can get a little confusing. There's a lot of essentially dead space in the game. I don't know if the game was rushed out or what, but there's some fresh bread. I don't know if the game was rushed out or what, but there are rooms and rooms that are just literally empty. There's just, a bed or a bookshelf or some chairs or something, and that's it. So what we've done here is we're leaving the monastery, and we picked up a few items. We got MP recovery and HP recovery. We don't need any of those right now, obviously, but we're now on our adventure, our quest, if you will. So you level up HP by hitting and being hit. MP is by hitting enemies with spells. So we'll show some methods of leveling those up. But here is our first spirit. So go ahead and select that. We're going to level up water first. Water has a healing spell that we want access to as soon as possible. So we're going to put our first, I believe, 5 points there, so we want 6 water. But the way MP levels up is by hitting enemies with spells. So if you hit one enemy with one spell, you get 1 experience for it. And that's a flat amount throughout the game. It doesn't matter if you hit the strongest enemy in the game or the weakest enemy, you get 1 experience for hitting 1 guy. Now, the other side of that is if you hit multiple enemies with a spell, you get multiple points of experience. So after we get our healing spell, we're gonna find an air spell that will allow us to level up our MP very quickly. Here's the town outside of the monastery, and there is, way over this way, there's another spirit, and I believe there's an item in this house here. Yep, there's the item. What do we got? More fresh bread, which is good. Early in the game, especially when we don't have access to our healing spell, we are going to use fresh bread to keep ourselves alive. And even after that, the healing spell is so very weak that sometimes it's just much more prudent to use an item instead. You know, the healing spell is going to heal 5 or 6 or 7, and the fresh bread heals 50. The honey bread heals 100, so it's a much better option. And I know I'm probably going to miss a few items. Let's duck in here. I think this is the bread spot. Nope, it is exactly what I was looking for. In every town, every major town, they'll give you a pair of wings, and the wings allow us to return to here. Now, as far as I can remember, there's absolutely no reason to come all the way back to the first beginning area of the game unless you want to. But given how long it takes to travel from place to place in this game, it's very doubtful that we will be doing that. So, we're out into the wilderness, and we are now able to get random encounters. And let's go ahead and do that. First spell is a miss. Good start. Let's try a fireball. That'll do. Now it may seem like I'm wasting MP here, but we do definitely want to be. Oh my goodness, it's a good start here. Hit him from behind. There we go. We do want to be casting as many spells as we can to improve our MP score as early as possible. Another fun aspect of the game is that to level your agility, you want to move as far as you can every single turn. Your agility is raised by moving inside your little hex. Hey, we got our first spirit out of fights. So that's the only experience you get. Is that there's a spirit over there? Nope. I know I'm gonna miss a few, but I'm gonna try to get as many as I possibly can, because unless you do a lot of grinding, there's only 98 spirits to be found. We're actually gonna stay away from this guy because he hits pretty hard. He uses water, so we're just gonna drop rocks on him from a distance. Ooh, got out of that one. Apparently this hippo can move much further than we can. Ooh, missed on that one. Drop another one. Oh, not gonna be enough. We're gonna have to tangle him. Oh my gosh, I got hit, almost got hit by that for walking into it after it was already gone. So, fantastic. And as you may have noticed, we do gain MP back by hitting enemies with our staff. So, that's a way of recovering it. Otherwise, it's by running. I don't think we angled that quite right. By running on the world map, it slowly regenerates. There's also items, as you saw, I picked up back in the monastery there. Oh yeah. I'm hitting pretty good against those guys, but they are, hey, there's another level up. They are fire elemental. Every enemy in the game has an element, save a couple. and you can take advantage of those weaknesses. Just keep this guy at range. He has a ton of HP, so we don't really want to get too close. He kind of pummeled us last time. We'll try to hang on to our healing items as long as we can. It's very likely we'll be using one before we hit the first town. So we mentioned HP, MP, and agility, which there's the first town actually, you can see in the background. And defense, I think, based on the other things you would realize, goes up by being hit. And that goes up every time we get hit, it goes up. You get a little bit of experience. Do we really want to tangle with this guy again? We do. We'll keep going after him. We don't quite have our healing spell yet. That's alright. So getting hit is the best way to level up your defense. And it's important. I mean, you obviously don't want to get hit too much, because if you get hit too much, run out of HP, you die. But we do want to get hit quite a bit. That way our defense is up to a reasonable level for specifically like bosses. Because the bosses in this game are pretty tough. Let's see if we can finish them off. The water pillar 2. Haha. Completely calculated. So here we are, just trudging along. This game, it can get a little tedious with the number of encounters you run into, but it all levels you up, so it's all good stuff. Let's see, did we make it? All right, and there we go. And we're here for this, which gives us access to our healing spell, which, as of right now, heals 4 and costs us 2 MP. So you can see how this is extremely inefficient. So what you can do is you can run yourself completely out of MP and then find a little safe spot to do laps in. What's our MP at? We got 9. Yeah, that'll be enough. It doesn't take much to kill the enemies around here. So just keep a move on. The guy mentioned where we want to go. It's a town called Dondarin. Let's drop a rock on this guy's head. Take that. Let's use the big one. Ah, we missed. Agility also, it affects a bunch of stuff. It determines who goes first. Or actually, now that we've got our healing spell, we're going to go into wind. There's a couple of really good spells that we want early on, at least. Let's go ahead. Now that we got a healing spell, we'll go tangle it up in melee with this guy. Use big. Oh, jeez. Used a big water pillar. Let's stick to a little. Oh my goodness. It's extremely frustrating. Like I said, oh my goodness. It affects the order you go in. Finally. It affects how often you get hit, how often you hit. So that's one of the more important ones. Luckily, oh, this guy. This is outrageous. I'm just gonna hit him. Jeez. That's really silly. Agility affects how often you get hit, how often you hit other things right away. So we do want to level that up, but luckily just running around the map is enough to raise your agility, albeit very, very slowly. Let's see if we can hit 2. Yeah, double kill. So if we check it out now, agility 7, 9% experience. We'll run. I think we're actually going to flee this fight. Heal ourselves in the process. Fantastic. Just watch, wait a little bit, and there you go. You got 9% experience just by running around, which is great, because we definitely want our agility to be really high. Let's see, do we have any treasures we can steal? Do not. This is a little safe area. Get our HP back up. Get ourselves maxed back out. Run around, do some laps around his table. Thought it was weird when Link went into buildings and smashed pots. Imagine if a kid runs into your house, casts a bunch of spells, and then runs around your table 50 times. Yeah. Alright, let's get back on our way. Let's hit him with a rock. I used that spell quite a bit early on. It just has the best range of any of the early spells. Let's hit him with a rock. Although if you're too close, you can fling it right over their heads. So it's not. Man, I am just incredibly inaccurate with that. Huh. There we go. Yeah, you can fling rocks right over top of their heads. So, luckily the rock level 2 spell, it gets a little bigger, and then rock level 3 gets even bigger. So makes it a little easier to hit things accurately. I actually haven't thought much about how I'm gonna level up my elements. I've never really done an even build, so I may give that a try, just because I never have. And I've heard that leveling your elements evenly makes your staff quite a bit stronger, but I'm not sure about the veracity of that statement. And up this way is Dondarin, a giant pack of hellhounds. Now the funny thing about the enemies is that they take turns with you. So even though there's 4 of them, we go back and forth. You know, number 1 takes his turn, and then I take mine, and then number 2, ooh, big whiffer. Number 2 takes his turn, and then I take one. So going first is not the most important thing, but it is helpful. You know, especially if you have a spell that can severely damage or kill one of the enemies very early. It can make the battle quite a bit easier. So we've almost made it to this first city. We've got our healing spell. We're working on wind. We've got wind cutter level 2 now. That's cool. This is one of those really fun camera angle games where it basically never works with you. So we're gonna do our best. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna run down to where there's nothing useful except for right here. Got another spirit. Fantastic. And that's mostly the extent of leveling up in terms of immediate difference to your character. other than that, you know, you gain HP and MP very slowly. This is the inn where we can talk to this nice lady. And, or not the inn, this is the bread store. And if you don't have any fresh bread at all, they'll give you some of it. So, the game is very generous in that sense, where no matter where you are in the world, there's always someone to give you some fresh bread. Here's the inn. This is Shannon. She always has something to say to you, and she's always in every inn in the game. So we'll see more of her later. The Dondrin, the town of pottery. Yes, we will stay the night. That got some old saves in there. Oh, goodness. Yes. That replenishes our HP and MP, and if we happen to get knocked out in combat, then that'll bring us back to here. So despite the fact that I'm actually running this on an emulator, we do want to check in at inns periodically, because then we'll have a place to come back to if we do something silly or lose a fight. Someone who stole the Earth Orb right from his treasury. This guy needs to keep an eye on his stuff, really. And he wants us to get it back. I think this is the way we want to go. Yep. And maybe the reason people can steal things out of your treasury is because you just let strangers into your castle and let them wander around freely. So here we picked up a few more healing recovery items. And those may come in useful later. I tend to not. I save them for when I absolutely need them and then don't use them anyway. This game, healing items are definitely not necessary. But, like I said, I may do things a little differently, and we'll see if I end up getting into them a little bit more. Right now, actually looking for the princess's room. That was Scott for the, I guess, king of this area. I think you could call him a king. I think that's the way we want to go. Where is the princess's room? Here we go. I think this is the way we wanted to go. Nope. There's just a very sad looking man. What do you have to say? Try to avoid his close range attack. Which actually is a useful tip in our very first boss encounter. Another storeroom. Dang, I've just completely lost. It's been quite a while since I played this game, so we'll see how much I do and don't remember. We'll just keep wandering around the castle, talking to people, trying to find the princess's chambers. Aha! Here we go. Let's get in here. I don't really want to talk to her, but what I do want is a set of mint leaves, which are 20 MP recovery. And that's 10 MP recovery. If I can get myself angled for this box. And another 10 MP recovery. We don't want to talk to her though. I don't care. I think she complains about her dad in one way or the other. Here's the castle library. It seems, and so let's get out of here so I can find my way out. I think this is where we came in, so we'll just follow this. I'm not sure. Here we go. Fantastic. Follow the fancy doors. And this way. So, that is Dondrin. We will be back once we collect the Earth Orb from Soul Ring. Find our way out of this pottery town. And we'll go ahead and check our map in a second here. Alright, now that we're outside, let's go ahead and check our map. That's our element leveling up once we get 14% more experience. That'll give us another element. And here's our map. The red arrows where we are, and we want to head to the not very well named Connor Fortress, because it's actually the Connor Forest, or it is a forest. I don't know how it's a fortress though. So we have a new spell, Wind Cutter 2. As you can see, it shoots off 3 of them, and doesn't do much damage, but the main benefit is that it hits 3 times. So it basically is giving us triple experience to our MP stat. Well, let's go ahead and clean these guys up with staff attacks. Except for you. Can't quite reach you. Oh, fantastic. One of the things I forgot to mention, agility increases your battle hexagon. So if you want to get a little closer, new enemy too. If you want to be able to get closer to your enemies quicker, then also want to level up your agility. Here's this pile of mud and skulls and bones and things. Either way, just gonna point blank hit him with some wind cutters. And hit a few guys with our staff. Easy peasy. Here's a sign that is completely illegible, despite being that close. And now, we are in the Connor Fortress. As you can see, it says do not go that way. So, I don't know if you can guess which way we're going to go. This path is the way through the place, but it's the way we're going to go because we want to collect some things. And this is a weird enemy because he uses the wind elemental attacks, but he's also kind of weak to them. Hooray! We also got another MP point, which is great. It's one of the easier enemies. The enemies take a sharp upturn once you enter this area. Specifically, this kobold is a really tough enemy. He's also I only got one of them. He's also a wind type enemy, so our wind spells aren't going to do much. We're just going to go ahead and have him eat some water pillars. There we go. And then these guys aren't doing too much to us, so we're going to go ahead and... Oh no. Ouch. We're going to go ahead and hit him with our staff. Hopefully that takes care of things. It does. Oh boy. Now we're in trouble. So, let's go ahead and eat one of those loaves of bread that we were talking about. Great. I mean, I guess we could have risked it and tried to take him out without it, but if we whiff, we end up all the way back in Donnerin. So, no thank you. We just barely got into this new area. Definitely don't want to be bailing out immediately because we can't hang with these guys. Don't see any more spirits over this way. So let's head back. Oh boy. Let's head back to the entrance. Let's just fire off a wind cutter. Oh, does almost nothing. But these guys are being nice enough to clump quite nicely, so maybe we can can angle ourselves to hit two of them. That's good. And got them both. Alright, you get in here. And we can get 3. Oh, we got 3, but we only hit 2 of them. Let's go for the clump 2 here. Man, we're on fire. Now we're gonna get blasted. There we go. Maybe? Oh, close enough. 1 left. He missed. We hit. Awesome. Got him. And we got a Celine's Bell too. So we're gonna heal a little bit. Hopefully we can make it back. Oh, there's a spirit right there. Can we make it? No fight? No fight? Awesome. Alright. Full MP, so we're gonna heal up a few times. Let's make our way back to the other direction. Ooh, this is not really a fight we want to pick. So let's fire off some wind cutters and we'll just get out of this fight. As you saw, when we were in close range combat with them, they were hitting us for 7, 8, 9. And also just now, at long range combat, they were hitting us for 8. So, not really a fight we want to take at this point. That's just a lot of damage, and we'd probably end up having to burn an item or two. And this is ideal. We can hit this guy with our wind cutter and move our maximum distance to raise our agility. As often as possible, we'd like to move to the very edge of our hex before we cast our spell or make our attack. That way we can get the most out of each fight, raising our agility and whatnot. And as I mentioned before, you can find these little I don't know, I guess I call them like safe spots, safe houses. Another element. And some giant shoes. These are some items that are in battle use. The Celine's Bell. It'll freeze your enemies. This one gives you 1 or 2 turns of double range. This is like 1 or 2 turns it'll freeze them. Which is good, but it's a one-time use. So, now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and have a little training session, I guess. I'd like to hit 12 in wind and get a little bit more MP before we go much further. The main thing is getting that 12 in wind, because that allows us to level up our MP much more quickly. Because wind cutter level 3 we get at 12 actually gives something like 7 hits, so it's actually a really good way to rapidly raise our MP. And before this first fight with Silvering, we definitely need more MP, or not even necessarily more MP, but we definitely need wind cutter level 3, because that's going to be our method of killing him. Silvering, since he stole the Earth Orb, you may be able to tell is an Earth Elemental character. So, wind opposes Earth, water opposes fire, and vice versa for both of those. So, we definitely want to be using wind because he's weak to it. But, right now we are not nearly at the point where we can take him on. There we go. Oh, there's 11 in wind. And I ran off there. I shouldn't have, because I kind of want to be ending the episode here. But so with that all done, we're gonna end here. I'll post the episode where I run around and kill some stuff. I'll probably talk a little bit more about my plans for the game and stuff I've done in the past and whatever else. But If you want to skip that one, feel free. It'll probably be a little more dull than anything else, simply because we will just be killing monsters, coming back in here, healing, recovering MP, and repeating the process until we get a little bit higher level. In any case, thanks for joining me for this first episode. I hope to see you back, and have a good one.